Histology of bone tissue. 80% are compact bone and 20% are spongy bone. 25% are water and 25% are protein fibers and 50% are mineralized salts. And there is abundant matrix of intercellular materials that are surrounding widespread cells. 4 types of cells are there. The first one are the osteogenic cells. They are derived from mesenchyma and they are doing cell division, and then they are becoming the osteoblasts. These osteoblasts, they are synthesizing and secreting collagen fibers. Collagen fibers important in a moment. And then there are sometimes these osteoblasts become stuck in the collagen fibers, which they are themselves secreting, and then they are becoming osteocytes. And as osteocytes, they are then making the waste and nutrient exchange of the bone tissue with the blood. And then there are also the osteoclasts. They come through the fusion of 50 monocytes, which are a type of white blood cells together. And they are then at the one side, which has then ruffled border and is folded and is facing the compact bone on the inside of the bone in the endosteum, secreting then lysosomal enzymes and acids which are destroying the bone, but that is part of the normal maintenance of the bone. Now, these osteoblasts which are secreting and synthesizing the collagen fibers, they are important for the bone. Inside of these collagen fibers, in little spaces in between them, they are deposited the mineral salts, and they are then hardening, and that process is then called mineralization or calcification. And these hardened crystallized minerals are giving the bone then the hardness, and these collagen fibers giving the bone its flexibility and also its tensile strength, so its strength and resistance against being torn apart or stretched. If someone would take a bone and put it into vinegar for some time, then the bone would become flexible and rubbery. And that is according to Gerard de Toga and Sarah Grabowski's Principles of Anatomy and Physiology book on the pages 162 and 163. But this is no substitute for medical knowledge and also no medical advice. Hi, Nubekam. I am trying to learn osteology today, histology of bone tissue, and after we've done that, we're going to do tiptoe yoga. And if you're participating in tiptoe yoga, then it's at your own risk. And this is part 4, I think, of histology of bone tissue. And we had so far the first thing, the matrix of bones are 25% water, 25% protein fibers, and 50% crystallized mineral salts. There are the osteogenic cells, and they are derived from the mesenchyma, from which also the other connective tissues are formed. I don't know where the mesenchyma is, or what it is. And these are the only cells which are doing cell division, so the osteogenic cells are making division and becoming the osteoblasts, the next one. And these osteogenic cells, they are at the inner part of the periosteum, which is lining the outer part of the diaphysis of the long part of the bone. And also are they in the endosteum, which is the inner part of the bone, at the compact bone at the outside of the medullary cavity. And also at the canals within bone that contain blood vessels. Maybe they mean the central Haversian canal. The canals within bone that contain blood vessels. Now the osteoblasts, these are these ones derived through cell division from the osteogenic cells. And they are the ones synthesizing and secreting the collagen fibers. And in these collagen fibers, where the mineral salts like hydroxyapatite and calcium carbonate are deposited. Is it by accident? Are we just getting stuck? Are deposited there. And when they are crystallizing, and that process is called calcification, and that makes the tissue hard. Okay, these are the osteoblasts. Now we have the osteocytes. And where we continue now. Osteocytes are mature bone cells that are the principal cells of bone tissue. We mean these are the most ones, the principal ones. We mean the ones which are mainly there, or at least the most important ones. Let's just go on. Osteocytes are derived from osteoblasts that have become entrapped in matrix secretions. From osteoblasts. Okay. So we said already the osteogenetic were the only one doing cell division. The osteocytes are not coming through cell division. These are just old, trapped, cast off osteoblasts. Osteoblasts have become entrapped in the matrix secretions of themselves. And now they are getting osteocytes. However, osteocytes no longer secrete matrix material because they have enough of it. They already trapped it. Instead, they maintain the daily cellular activities of bone tissue, such as the exchange of nutrients and wastes with the blood. How is it even possible? How is a cell able to form its what it is a job? Maybe we should make a video about it. A little presentation and just say with one thing. Is there an example of cells which are changing their job or something after they have been somewhere or something? The ones which get stuck are maturing under these new conditions, stopping to secrete matrix material and starting to exchange nutrients and wastes with the blood of the bone tissue. Okay, osteoclasts, the next one, the fourth one, are huge cells derived from a fusion of as many as 50 monocytes, a type of white blood cell that are concentrated in the endosteum. In the endosteum, there are white blood cells, and 50 of them can come together and forming an osteoclast. On the side of a cell, in the endosteum, so on the inner side of the bone, there are also some of the osteogenic cells. So there can be 50 of these white blood cells, these monocytes, can come together and becoming then osteoclast. On the side of a cell that faces the bone surface, the osteoclast's plasma membrane is deeply folded into a ruffled border. I don't know what a ruffled means. And I don't understand it. How can be there a cell just facing always one side? They said here the osteocytes, they were trapped. And they were then in a part of these osteons. I think we read it already. And doing them the job. Yes, osteocytes were trapped in the laminae or something. How can be there a cell ruffled border to one side? On the side of a cell that faces the bone surface, the osteoclast's plasma membrane is deeply folded into a ruffled border. Okay, whatever. The plasma membrane, so the one side of it is always lying onto the pillow. The whole over days and weeks, months, and has now a lot of ruffled, imprisoned, what is it called? Impressions? Marks from the pillow of the bone and the ruffled border at its plasma membrane. Here the cell releases powerful lysosomal enzymes and acids that digest the protein and mineral components of the underlying bone. So they're not just there, they are also releasing lysosomal enzymes and acids which are digesting the protein and mineral components of the underlying bone. Where's underlying bone? They are facing one side, the underlying bone. And these osteoclasts, which were formed there in the endosteum, which is the outer part of the inner medullary cavity inside of the bone, from 50 white blood cells, these monocytes, together to become osteoclasts, they are what they were giving out lysosomal cells and acids, which are digesting the protein and mineral components of the underlying bone. Is it a good or bad thing? They're digesting then the mineral components of the bone at which they are. The proteins and mineral components of the underlying bone. This destruction of bone matrix is part of the normal development, growth, maintenance, and repair of bone. Okay, they're actually digesting it and destructing it. But that is part, we try to say it not that strongly. And that has been part of growing maintenance and of a normal development of a bone with its growing, maintaining, and repairing. Okay, I think we have these 4 parts. So let's read on. The first part, did I just say with the osteoblasts, they are doing the calcification. The osteoblasts, they are secreting the collagen fibers in which not only themselves get stuck and form them into osteocytes, but also are there hydroxyapatite and calcium carbonate. Hydroxyapatite. I can't get it how to pronounce the word, so I can't decide what it is. Hydroxyapatite. It must be hydroxyapatite and calcium carbonate getting deposited there, and when they are hardening, and what is called mineralization or calcification, when the bone gets harder. Okay, that is that part. The next part. Although a bone's hardness depends on its crystallized inorganic mineral salts, the hydroxyapatite, Although a bone's hardness depends on its crystallized inorganic mineral salts, a bone's flexibility depends on its collagen fibers. So these collagen fibers produced by the osteoblasts, which could get stuck and becoming osteocytes when doing the wasted nutrient supply of bone, they are not just there to get into them deposited the hydroxyapatite and the calcium carbonate, which are when calcificating and mineralization to harden the bone, but also these collagen fibers, they are giving the bone the flexibility. Like the reinforcing metal rods in concrete, collagen fibers and other organic molecules provide tensile strength, which is resistance to being stretched or torn apart. Is tensile strength the resistance to be torn apart? So if someone has written name, what the width, size, color, and then tensile strength, is a tensile strength, that is when how much it holds before it's ripping or torn apart, or whatever. These collagen fibers giving it the flexibility, we're ending with it. No, we're saying it, and it gives them tensile strength, and that is the resistance we have to being stretched, the resistance against being stretched and torn apart. Yes. And then the next part does mean that. And if a mineral salt works, if someone, for example, for whatever reason takes a bone and puts it into vinegar, then after some time the mineral salts are all dissolved and the bone is no longer hard, just flexible. Now, that was the osteology part. If you were here for osteology, you can go directly to the next part, where we start to puzzle together out of these informations or presentation. When we try to say, well, we had with these 4 cells and these 2-3 additional informations. If you stay here and participate in the tiptoe yoga, when it's here, have the feet center together, breathe in the arms up, and come up onto the toes. Out and down. Try to come with the weight always to the big toes. In and up. Out and down. Out over to one side. In and up. Out over to the other side. In and up. Out to one side again, make an inch of space between your feet. In and up. Out and sink it down. In and up. Out onto the other side. In and up. Out and down again. In and up. Out and lean onto the knees. Very beginning. And out, make a hell of a bang. In middle. You can stay on tiptoes over down. Out, make a very in middle, out the hair, in middle, out the valley, in middle, and out come the round back up, make it a top, backwards, shoulder over, heels down, in and up on the sit toes, without sink down, this can go onto the knees, stand, in and up, out and down. In and up. Out and down. The legs apart, one foot points in front, the other one to the side, heels are on a line, in the arms up, And breathe out and bend the front leg. Come up onto tiptoes just with the front leg. Breathe in, reach in front. Out and back. Breathe in, straighten the front leg. Out and down again. Middle, heel down. Change the position of the feet. Breathe in. And out, bend the front leg. Come up onto tiptoe. Breathe in, reach in front. Out and back. Breathe in, straighten the front leg. Out and back. Middle, down. Have the legs standing wide apart. Breathe in, the arms up. Out and sink down. Come up onto tiptoes. Breathe in and push something imaginary heavy up. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. And last time we're ending in and up. Out and the hands down, heels down. Have your feet standing together. In and up on the tiptoes. And out, heels down, down. Bend the right leg and stretch the left one. Change. Stretch the right one. Middle and both at the same time stretching. Now open the feet to the side. Keep on hanging down. Breathe in. And out, go over to one leg. Breathe in. Out over to your leg. Again in. Out into the middle. Close the feet. Breathe again in. And out, roll slowly with the round back up, back at the top and backwards. Shoulder. Breathe in the arms up. And out and bring that down. That was the tip you are. I thank you very much and at the next time.